As someone who is more of a casual gamer and someone who creates content on the side, I rely on my PC primarily for productivity purposes. But I recently got my hands on a new monitor and I wanted to see if this will enhance my workflow or if it is something that's just going to be overkill for someone with my use case. Hi everyone, if you're new to my channel, my name is Paula, and today we're going to be talking about the Samsung G80SD. This is an OLED monitor that is 4K 240Hz. Pretty much right now, all the talk in the market is OLED monitors are the best that you can get because of its ability to produce really deep blacks as well as really vibrant colors. So I can only imagine in both scenarios such as gaming and content creating, you're going to get the best color payoff and a bunch of other features as well. So today I wanted to dive deeply and see what this monitor has to offer and see if it's something that I will eventually upgrade in my setup. So let's get started. This monitor comes with two HDMI ports. One of them does support ARC, which allows you to connect a soundbar as well as a display port for your computer. This monitor also comes with its very own remote control, which is really handy, especially when switching inputs. That way you don't have to mess with the back or the bottom of the screen, switching between different displays. The reason that I even have this monitor is that Brian recently picked this up so that he can try out a bigger screen size, coming from the 27-inch counterpart of this monitor to now a 32-inch display. It has definitely helped with his day-to-day work, just seeing the clearer text size as well as making sure that everything actually fits a bigger screen helps him view a lot more simply because of the bigger real estate. But where this monitor shines for me personally is when I'm doing creative work for YouTube. As someone who films and edits their own videos, I do like to get really precise in my timelines and making sure that I am cutting at the right place and listening exactly where I need to adjust the sound. So being able to see all those waveforms is really important. So having that bigger screen size is definitely helpful for that use case. And because this monitor supports 99% DCI, basically what that means is it's able to produce really color accurate pictures, which is really great for having color accurate work. So I mentioned in the beginning that this monitor does come with its own remote control. Right when you start up this monitor, it gives you the option to use it as your own TV. It gives you options such as live TV and also streaming services, which is included in the baked-in apps of the system, such as YouTube, Hulu, Disney, and so on. I think that's really great because now you have a monitor that can do it all. In my studio currently, I actually don't have anything besides my screens for work, and I would love to have a TV here as well. So having a screen just like the G80SD might be really useful, just so that I can now technically have a TV for this room as well without having to add an extra screen. Another feature that's cool about the G80SD is what's called the Gamers Hub. So if you don't have your console connected to your PC, you can use features such as GeForce Now or Amazon Luna. And for the best experience, you want to make sure that you have really strong internet connection. Personally, I haven't used this feature as much because I prefer using my console as opposed to streaming. But it is an option for those of you who don't happen to have a console connected to your PC with this display. As far as gaming performance, this is a great monitor to have. However, it is a 4K display, so you want to make sure that you have the right graphics card. Otherwise, it won't make sense for you to have. I currently have an AMD RX 6700 XT graphics card, and I personally don't get the best FPS off of this monitor. However, it is playable. I just have to turn everything down. Although, if you're someone that plays story games, this screen size is really nice and immersive. And if you play competitive games like Valorant, you shouldn't have any issues getting 240 FPS since those games are typically a little bit easier to run. Now, as far as the games that I play, I tend to lean more towards casual, laid-back games such as Stardew Valley, which I recently got back into, and this game is typically pretty easy to run for this monitor. Even at 4K, I'm still able to get lots of FPS. The bump in screen size is really good as everything looks nice and crisp. What I notice the most is the colors. Of course, with games like Stardew Valley, it is very colorful and everything looks nice and bright, so everything really pops on the screen, which makes it a very satisfying experience. When playing other games like World of Warcraft, this is also a fairly easy game to run. At the maximum settings at level 10 preset, I get about 55 to 70 FPS, but since this is not a competitive game, this is good enough for me. At high settings, level 7 preset, I get around 70 to 80 FPS, which is good because it keeps you above 60 frames at all times. Lastly, at medium settings, I get about 100 to 130 FPS. This is going to be where it's the smoothest, but obviously you're going to be sacrificing a little bit of the graphics quality. But again, it shouldn't be a big deal since 4K is already so clear. I also tried Palworld and I kept this at low or medium settings to stay above 60 FPS. High settings is okay too, but you get below 50 FPS. And finally, I tried First Descendant. For this game, you do have to keep it on the lowest settings, and this is going to be the smoothest and gives you above 60 FPS. Something I didn't mention is that this monitor has built-in speakers, and it's surprisingly better than a lot of monitor speakers that I've used in the past. This is going to be great for situations like editing, where I don't have to plug in an external speaker or connect Bluetooth speakers, which then minimizes sound delay.
We're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live.
We're streaming ABC News Live.
ABC News Live, streaming free everywhere.
This monitor also has multi-view, however it's not a full split screen experience as it just takes the 2 screens and resizes it to fit into the monitor. But it is there in case you need it. As far as pricing, this monitor does set you back around $12.99, which considers it at the high-end pricing. Same price as the Asus PG32 UCDM monitor, which is regarded as the best monitor at the moment. Not only is that screen 4K, but it also comes in semi-gloss coating versus the matte coating that's with the G80SD. And the Asus monitor also has power delivery for a laptop and a KVM switch. But strictly for gaming and productivity purposes, I feel like the price is a little bit too high, especially if you're not really relying on the TV. It would be nice to have because that's one less screen to deal with, but unless you're really looking for that 2-in-1 experience, that price might be a little too high. Fortunately though, this monitor does appear to always be on sale. I recently saw this listed at $9.99 at Best Buy, and that puts it at the same category as the Dell and MSI monitors, which I think is a bit more of a fair price. One last thing I want to talk about is the warranty. This monitor does not come with burn-in warranty. Since this is an OLED, you guys may have heard that OLED screens do have the ability to have burn-in over time when you leave static images. But personally, we have our OLED monitor right now, which has about 2,000 hours of use, and it still has not shown any signs of burn-in. Previous generations typically provide you with a 3-year warranty for that very reason. But because of the advancements of OLED technology nowadays, maybe it's become a bit less common to have burn-in, so they feel confident that they don't need to provide you with that warranty. Personally, we're not too worried about the burn-in issue, but if that's something that you're concerned about, you may want to look at different options. And that is it for today. Hopefully you guys found this information helpful. And if you did enjoy this video, please don't forget to leave us a thumbs up down below and subscribe for more tech and gear related videos. If you guys have any experiences with other OLED monitors that you'd like to recommend, please leave us those comments down below. Or if you've had a chance to try out the G80SD, would it be something you'd recommend? Or if there's anything else that you'd like us to try out, let us know, and I will see you guys in the next video.